I thought she was here.
Here I am again. I'm sorry, but Salvatore Dimartino, who had to present this second part of our speech, could not do it for a serious health problems. So our best wishes for a speedy recovery, Salvatore. Then I will try to summarize his speech. These are the main features of the research I've just introduced to you in the first part. Let's try to compare the research results with the critical issues of the current system. Of course, we are talking about the Italian system. Criticality of the current model of child custody are interference in people's lives, conflict between parents, gender stereotypes, and discrimination. About the interferences in people's life, the family court decides whether one or both parents have legal custody, decides which of them has physical custody, which has only legal custody, and simply has to provide the economic support. These interferences with the people's family life create instability in the balance between parents and therefore conflicts. Here are some of the conflict aspects: the predominant residence, the allowance in favor of the residential parent, and the assignment of the marital home. But we have gender stereotypes too. Read this sentence, please. For 2 days a week, for 4 consecutive hours a day, and every other week on the weekend. But why? Is a woman a better caregiver than a man? How much gender stereotypes could have influenced this judgment? In Italy, the Italian Statistical Institute told us that mothers are the residential parent in over 95% of cases. And the father's role is only to provide child support. Discrimination. In an intact family, the spouses agree on a family living standard and the parenting time. But in a divorced family, it's the judge who establishes the new family living standard and the parenting time. Do you remember the custody model of the research we talked about before in the first part? Effective protection of child's family relationship, equal parenting time, parents' role equality. This was the model of that research. This model is the consequence of a very deep social and cultural change in society. Now, even fathers play the role of caregiver. Male breadwinner, female caregiver is more and more a model of the past. This model was that of Law 54(2) in Italy, but it hasn't been applied. It hasn't been applied. It has been applied differently. The most important thing is to connect the concept of best interest with that of family relations as a tool for the protection and health of children. Therefore, the goal should be to balance the interest of all the parties involved in the divorce, children and parents, in consideration of the fact that the relationship continues even after separation. A parent continues to be a parent even after the divorce. So in Italy, it is the time to change the law again, change again the law. But the research told us that people are ahead of the law. So change is possible. We just need to want to change. We just need to want to do it. Thank you for your attention. Good morning. I introduce myself. I'm Eraldo Olivetta. I'm adjunct professor of sociology at the School of Management and Economics at the Turin University in Italy. I'm here in order to present you a study conducted by the Italian Association Mantenimento Diretto. What's the topic? One of the most significant problems arising from separation is that of child custody. Often, in separation, one of the parents ends up having a marginal role in the growth, education, and socialization of their children. Sometimes he disappears from their lives. From a sociological point of view, frequentation difficulties make the primary socialization process, of which parents are agents, more difficult. This can influence the learning not only of cultural models, but also of roles that do not pertain to the child as such, but which may be theirs in adulthood. The conflict that often accompany separations can then favor the learning of wrong behavior and role models. What's the question? In the event of separation, despite the diversity, do the roles of the two parents have the same importance, or are they affected by prejudices based on gender stereotypes? In order to answer these questions, a study was conducted by administering 2,349 interviews. The purpose of this study is to know what are the fundamental characteristics of the role of a parent in situation of separation. In order to do it, 4 variables are studied. The first, awareness of the parental role. With the separation, the conjugal role is lost, but the parental role continues even when the marriage ends. The second variable is the role of a divorced parent. What this role consists of? Through which activities it is carried out? And above all, it's important to know whether there should be differences or not between the two parents regarding the most relevant aspect of its exercise. The first variable is the divorce model. What is the model considered the most appropriate by the interviewees? And the last, the divorce situation, what is the effective situation of separation of divorce experienced by the interviewees? Something about the population studied. Respect to gender, 55% of the reference population are males and 45% females of fairly homogeneous geographical origin in Italy. With regard of parental role, about 67% of the interviews have children, while 32% have none. 60% of the interviewees lived the experience of separation in their family of origin, declaring themselves to be child of a divorced family. The research results. About the first variable, on the 80% of the reference population agree completely that only the conjugal role and not the parental role was lost with the separation. So the parental role continues even with the separation, but what is the role of a separated parent? More than 92% of the reference population declared that to be convinced of parental equality, thus demonstrating that they believe that both parents should be in a position of absolute equality in their role even after separation. About 93% fully agree that relationship continuity with the mother and father should be a right of minor children, even after divorce of separation. About 94% fully agree that the children should have the opportunity of frequentation in the same way with the separated parents. Part of parental role is shared responsibility, care, and custody of children. Most of the interviews fully agree that the role of both parents, even if separated, includes custody and care, and this responsibility is to be considered equal. So the father too is caregiver. The role of both parents includes custody and care, and this responsibility is to be considered equal. The divorced parents should maintain the adequate relational continuity, and both of them have to give custody and care. About the third variable, regarding to the model of separation, more than 37% fully agree that divorce should be direct without the passage of separation. Regarding the more economic aspects, about 87% of the reference population declare themselves completely in agreement with the direct child support for expenditures in proportion to income. A problematic aspect of separation concerns the assignment of the family home. The 64% completely agree with the assignment of the house to the rightful owner. But the problem seems to suggest a greater moderation in the statement of opinion. More than 82% of the interviewees completely agree that the change of a reference must be jointly authorized by parents. Regarding the obligation of financial support between ex-spouses, more than 61% declare to be completely in agreement with the termination after the divorce. And so this is the divorce model. As concerning the separation situation, the study of this experience focused on a particular aspect, the frequentation established by the court and effective of the children by the two parents. As you can see, father and mother in the slide, on the assignment of the course, only 20% of the interviewees would seem to be able to spend an almost balanced time with their children. I'm talking about from 10 nights up. But in fact, in the reference population, fathers who spend 10 or more nights with their children reach more than 36%. This is important because this would seem to indicate that the choices made by separated parents are better able to achieve the balance necessary to safeguard the relationship continuity than the judge's choices. This is the study. Well, now some consideration about the legal situation in Italy. I introduce you Salvatore Dimartino, President of Mantenimento Diretto Association. Thank you for your attention.